okay, you gotta ask yourself, okay, why the guy that was elected that got the most votes in U.S. history, right? Supposedly,
Yeah.
has to have 30,000 vetted troops to protect him. You know, it just something's odd. They could say, "Oh, the Trump people are crazy." You go, well, they had all the riots and everything in Washington D.C. for the Kavanaugh thing and the Black Lives Matter, and they didn't roll out this many National Guard. Then all of a sudden, one of the most quote unquote popular presidents ever elected has to have all these troops, and the Pelosi has to have these troops to protect them. Something's literally wrong.
Well,
But
did you see that video I sent you last night?
Which one? Yeah, the Tucker Carlson thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's absolutely right on this. I don't understand how, and he brought up a great point. The Pentagon said that they, in discussions with Trump, they didn't want to send U.S. troops to the American border, to the U.S. to protect the border. But they have no problem sending U.S. troops to Washington, D.C. to face American citizens with their weapons.
Yeah.
There's not a single person in the Pentagon that's speaking out against this. That the U.S. military is.
It's the National Guard, right? It's not the actual army. It's National Guard.
It's the National Guard, but it still is part of the U.S. military. It's not. It's not an ancillary part. It's set up that way. It is the National Guard, and their backs are to the president, and they're facing American citizens with their weapons.
Yeah.
And there's not a single person in the Pentagon says this is outrageous.
Yeah.
It's absolutely outrageous. Yeah. That this is now, from what I've understood, from what I understand, they don't have ammunition.
Oh.
From what I understand.
That's kind of goofy.
Yeah.
Well, they've done stuff like that before.
Yeah. But that Tucker Carlson 22-minute monologue is epic, and everybody should at least watch it and listen to it, because he's absolutely right on every point that he makes. This is a disgrace.
Yeah.
This is a disgrace. Presidential inaugurations. This is all optics. This is all optics. They want and again, I have the Pentagon is complying with the Democratic National Committee optics. Yeah. They're absolutely complying with this. Because the implication that they're making is that every Trump supporter is so crazy that we have to send the military out to protect Biden from American citizens.
From a coup.
And these American citizens, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, I don't know what the number is, have for the last 4 years have been going to Trump rallies and have cleaned up after themselves after the rallies. And then this one thing, and there's plenty of people, there's plenty of evidence to show that Antifa, BLM, and all these other ne'er-do-wells, and probably stupid white supremacist groups and all this, they're the ones that were behind the riot. The overwhelming majority of the people that went into to the Capitol during the riot were just normal people. They were the ones at the back of the crowd, and when they saw everybody moving in and the gates were open, because the Capitol Police opened the gates, when they saw the gates were open, they're like, "Oh, let's go in."
Yeah.
And then what did they started taking selfies? Yeah, there were some that, and again, arrest them. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I don't care if they were a hardcore Trump supporter. Send the guy to fucking jail. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care when anybody goes to jail for committing a crime. If you committed the crime, go to fucking jail. I don't care.
I got to ask you this. I've been meaning to ask you for the last 2 days. It's like, okay, you got all this evidence that, they cheated during the election, right? You can't find one judge in this country that wants to hear the case. That's what's crazy. There must be a reason behind it. I don't understand it.
Well, I think sometimes I wonder about this. Like again, Trump losing the election this way. Yeah. And Trump being deplatformed from social media. Rudy Giuliani's legal tactics with his legal team. Again, what I find strange is that the legal team couldn't put together a case that was impossible for the court to not hear.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder, was this by design?
Yeah.
Did they design this to lose so that we would have to start looking ourselves at what's going on?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, I don't know. I mean, I don't understand it either. You know, you have this guy. There's this guy. He's the editor of the D.C. Examiner. His name is Jay Caruso. He's I think he used to be a writer here at the Boston Globe. And I just don't remember because this was back in the 80s and early 90s. And he was the Globe's conservative writer. You know, like when a left-wing paper has a conservative. It's like David Brooks for the New York Times. He ain't a conservative. You know, there's nothing conservative about him. But anyway, Jay Caruso, you know, keeps putting out these tweets and whatnot, categorically stating that Trump continues to lie about election fraud. Yeah. And I'm like, how can you possibly know that Trump is deliberately lying about this? How can you possibly know? I mean, are you saying that our election systems and the computerized machines and the paper ballots and all this stuff in all the systems in our election process are completely infallible? Yeah. I mean, they're hiring temp workers to come in and count the ballots. Are you saying that they have been, you know, vetted and bonded and they're the most reliable people? The notion is absurd. You can't say it's kind of like if a guy bumps into a woman in a store and to do her, and he says he didn't. No. You know, like, is he by saying he did it on purpose, or is he lying by saying it was just an accident? Yeah. There's no way to prove that. So
well there is, because she has an extra point on him. So obviously he's the one that tried to do her.
Fine. Well, I mean that's sort of my point. I mean, you know, like for instance, a legal and judicial system said to us that O.J. Simpson was telling the truth when he pled not guilty to the crime.
Yeah.
Is he lying?
Yeah.
I mean, clearly he's not lying because he was acquitted.
Yeah.
Hey, are we supposed to believe this?
Yeah.
You know, and so I don't know. I don't know what I think again, because I'm not a lawyer and I don't understand how all this. And even if I was a lawyer, you know, there's a difference between different types of law. You know, and so you'll see that sometime with your friends, like, excuse me, I'm a lawyer and I think I know how election law works.
Yeah.
Dude, you fucking review. You know, you're not a political lawyer. Or I'm a lawyer, so I think I know how a murder trial works. Dude, been in a court?
Yeah.
You know,
it's like when it's like I'm saying, oh, I know VCRs because I'm a computer guy. No, I don't understand VCRs. I don't know how to fucking program a VCR.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
There's lots of different kinds of them.
I fix guitar amplifiers. Therefore I know how to design and build the circuitry for a supercomputer. I mean,
do you want an ears, eyes, and notes guide to work on your heart for a heart surgeon? Exactly. I don't think so.
Yeah, exactly. For a pediatrician.
Yeah.
I'm a podiatrist, so I think I know a little something about cardiac thoracic surgery.
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't want that. I don't know. It's just confusing the court thing, because it's like you sent me these. Yeah, you sent me all these things of stuff, you know, of irregularities of the election stuff.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty long list, right? So
extraordinarily long list.
Yeah, but not one judge they went to. You know, Trump has appointed a lot of judges during his 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can't find one that says, okay, yeah, we'll take a look at this.
Again, the judge in some cases is hamstrung from what the person filing the lawsuit is asking for. Like,
yeah, I know, but they're smart guys. They should be able to put together something to say, hey,
that's why I'm wondering, did they really want to win this?
Yeah.
Did they really intend to win this in court? And because I was thinking about, before the election, I was convinced beyond the shadow of a doubt that Trump was going to win and we were going to get him for 4 more years. I was just, and during this time when I'd drive around and I'd think about it, I thought, well, he's going to get 4 more years, but eventually he's going to leave. Then what? Then what? And so thinking about, or he could have died in office, had a heart attack, something like that. Eventually Trump is going to leave Washington, D.C. And I started thinking, is it Trump that I'm the person that I'm really the fan of? Although I am. I think his rallies are the stuff of legend. Some of the funniest stuff I've ever seen. But it's what he stood for. What he said was, U.S. has totally gotten off track what the founders wanted. Totally gotten off track. And he shined a light on it. He shined a light on the media. The DC swamp. We now know who these swamp dwellers are, because they came out and they're not even subtle about it.
Yeah.
Nancy Pelosi and all these guys, they completely came out from underneath the bushes and plausible deniability of hiding and showed us who they are. And now we, the people, now know how to identify when somebody is a scumbag. And we know how to do this in the media, and we know how to do this to Silicon Valley, and we now know how to do this to Hollywood and the colleges and the schools. We know how to do this now. Is that the win that Trump was hoping to get?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it is.
I don't know, but knowing him, he hates to lose. In no matter what capacity.
Okay, but it's assuming that he considers this a loss.
Yeah, I don't know. Him losing the presidency, I don't know. That seems like a big blow to his ego.
Again, I agree with you on that. But I remember sitting around thinking, with the abuse that he took for four straight years, how does this guy do it?
Yeah, I don't mean either.
4 more years of this.
Yeah.
Why would he want this? The guy's got everything.
Yeah.
Why doesn't he just leave? Go play golf, buy a fucking island, and get out of this shit.
Yeah, I know. It's the deal. It's the art of the deal. Just like his book says, it's the art of the deal.
But again, did he get the deal? Yeah. Look at he got the most votes of any incumbent president in American history. The most of any incumbent president. He went deeper into the people of color vote than any Republican in American history.
Yeah.
He did great as an incumbent. And for some reason, literally a confused old man with dementia got the most votes of any president in American history.
Yeah.
That to me is just absolutely absurd.
Yeah.
I'm still not convinced that Biden even won the primary. I think Bernie won.
Yeah.
But the Democrats just said, no, Bernie's not getting it, and we're not putting Bernie.
Yeah, there's no way we can fake his election. There's just no way to do that.
The thing is that millions of Americans right now have a good, healthy distrust for everything they read on the internet, everything they see on the news, everything they hear an expert or a college professor or a medical expert says. We now know the celebrities are all just vapid, empty suits, and people didn't know that before. Those of us that paid attention did. But
that's why they need 30,000 vetted troops in Washington D.C. to protect them.
What a disgrace that is! What a disgrace that is! A purity to make sure that these troops will support.
Yeah, my buddy was giving me crap a couple days ago about Trump being, like Hitler in getting into the Reichstag the way Hitler did. This sounds like the Hitler stuff to me, to tell you the truth.
This is the Hitler stuff.
Yeah, I know. It's literally the Hitler stuff.
The Democrats have literally taken control of the U.S. military, turning their weapons onto American citizens, or turning their weapons towards American citizens. For the first time ever, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy. Hey, I'm going to run upstairs. I'll talk to you later.